Capricorn, this is the Eight of Swords. Right now you might be feeling like there are too many options for you at the moment. There's too much data. There's too much complexity going on in your life right now. This is a very important card because it's letting us realize that we need to calm our minds down a little bit. We need to unravel some of these knots and some of these, it's like we're in this tangle of Christmas lights, overthinking something. And I feel like you're a numbers person. You like spreadsheets, you like data, you like, you like percentages and formulas and equations and things. And right now I think we just need to step away from that and just see like, how do we feel? Sometimes just the simplest intuitive hit or the nudge, right? Sometimes with the Eight of Swords, it's difficult for us to hear the voice of Spirit because there's just too much going on, right? The mind is overly active. Your spirit animal for today is the coyote spirit. Trust in divine detours. Okay? Trust in divine detours. Is this a Wile E. Coyote moment for you? Let me know in the comments how you feel about coyotes and your experience with coyotes. I've never actually seen one in person. But the Wile E. Coyote spirit is kind of like, as soon as we start to overthink something, we plummet. But if we just go with it, if we just kind of trust in the process, then we're likely to make it a lot further. Wile E. Coyote would just be running across the ravine out in midair, stops and starts thinking about what he's doing, and So it's kind of, to me, it's kind of a fool card anyway. There's the Empress. We have a Princess of Wands, Princess of Cups, Two of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles. Nice. Four of Wands, Hierophant, Three of Cups, and then look at that, Nine of, excellent. Absolutely excellent, because this is you making progress. Okay? And I think that, right now you're overthinking everything. It just needs to be simple. Do you love it? Okay, then go for it. Go forward. Something in your life is ready for you to nourish it. And if you just nourish it, it's going to grow. Don't make it too complicated. Just love it. It's like when my wife and I had our daughter. She's 5 now, but when she was first born, we didn't have kids, and we're just, I don't know what to do, And everyone just said, don't overthink it. Just love her, Just show love. And that's what we've been doing ever since. I think this is that situation for you as well. It may not be a child, but it very well could be, especially with the two princesses and, of course, this kind of mother energy of the Empress card. Well, let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. We're going to set it down right here with Alien Simon Mork Ripley right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need. If you have a prediction for that card at any moment, put it in the comments. I think we all need to practice our intuition. I think the more we use it, the better we'll get. Okay? So let's do that together. Let's make it a group exercise. Okay? And the divine detour, trust in that divine detour. This might be something that came in unexpectedly for you. Seems like the princesses kind of drove the car a little bit, didn't they? You did something maybe impulsive, or like you had this feeling and you said, I'm gonna do it. And now we're starting to think about like, wow, like was that a good idea? What did I get myself into? Is this, So I feel like it was a detour. It was something that maybe appeared in your life, something that you never thought that you would, that it would cross your path, but it did. And I think that you kind of like, without thinking, you leaped into it. The princesses of the tarot are very impulsive, very much led by your heart and led by your impulse here. And that's okay. Okay? I think that sometimes that energy is going to lead you down the right road. It's kind of, I feel like this is divinely inspired, And now it's just a matter of deciding to just stick with it and continue nourishing this. And I think that what maybe started as just a whim or just a flight of fancy is now turning into something real serious, you know. So we've got 2 majors. And the major arcana are really telling the story too, because the Empress is just saying, take care of it, love it, and it will grow. But I don't know what I'm doing. Just love it and take care of it, and it will grow. The Hierophant is over here saying, like, you're going to be an expert pretty soon. Don't even worry about it. You know, it's kind of like, again, it's like raising kids. It's like by the time you raise a kid, you're like, wow, I've accomplished something. Like, I've got a knowledge base now, you know. You start out not knowing anything about this path. But by living the path, okay, you're gaining in wisdom. You're gaining in knowledge, and I think that this is something that is ultimately going to prove to be very important to you and very sacred for you. Okay, so our majors are excellent. We've got a couple of fire cards here. We got some water cards here. A little bit of air, and we've got our earth cards. Okay, so just a little tiny bit of air, which is that overthinking mind, the kind of mentally obstructed, something's interfering with this. It's just the thoughts like, I don't know what to do. It may be that too many people are giving you advice, too many voices, too many opinions, too many running through scenarios. You don't need anybody else's advice. You don't need social media. You don't need really anything. You don't have to go and read a million books. You can watch a bunch of YouTube videos if you want. I highly recommend that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you just gotta love it. Okay? And you can't wait until you have all the information. You can't wait until you feel like you've learned enough. Something kind of dropped right into your lap. You know, the stork brought a gift for you. And you can't say, oh, hold on a second. Let me download all the information first. Let me study. Let me go to school. Let me graduate college on this subject. And then, okay, now you can bring it to my doorstep. I feel like this is something that the opportunity was here, and I feel like you just kind of, you let your heart just sort of pull you into it. And now you're thinking, uh-oh, I don't know what I'm doing. That's okay. That's all right. You know, don't let your mind hijack this feeling for you, because if we take this card away, oofa, look how good that is. That's awesome. That's like, you know, these are like, you know, this is like the feelers, right? This is the feelers that are out there, and your heart's out there, and it felt something, and the Princess of Wands kind of felt like, yeah, this feels like it might be good. Let's try it. Let's do it. These are very exploring, adventurous kind of energies. You know, these are the parts of you that just feel like kids. And of course, you don't usually let the kids drive the car, or the kids make decisions for you. But these two got into some mischief together and brought you something that you're going to be now taking care of and growing, and it's going to pay you for the rest of your life. It's going to be it's going to be absolutely amazing. But this thing is here, the Eight of Swords, we're just a little worried about it. So this could be like a creative venture. It could be that you just kind of jumped into some new job or some side hustle or a YouTube channel or any kind of an investment. This is an investment of time and effort and energy and money. It's also an investment of love. Okay? So I don't know if this is, you know, I mean, it could be, I don't know what I was thinking. I just went and got a dog, you know? Maybe that's it. This is like my family. I can't remember how many times either me or my brother or even my parents would just come home on any random day and say, I found a cat, you know? And we'd had 5 or 6 cats running around at any one time. Because it just, you know, or it's just on a whim, on an impulse, you go and you buy something, or you sign up for something. You say, hey, guess what? I just signed up for skydiving. Oh, no, not that. Anything but that, right? So I feel like it was kind of whimsical, yeah. But now you're trying to figure out how to actually do it and how to really take care of it. Simplicity. The simple things, right? But generally in life right now, if you're feeling overwhelmed mentally, change your environment. Go for a walk, take a shower, go to a different room, go outside. Observe nature even. The simplicity of nature. Yeah. So the next card is that Empress energy, and this is really saying that there's something in your life right now that if you nurture it and if you nourish it, it's going to pay you forever. It's going to, it's going to be there. It's going to grow into something extraordinary. It's going to be part of your life for a long time. If this is a financial thing or an investment of money, there's going to be a wonderful return on that investment. But you might be saying, I don't know anything about stocks and bonds and whatever, right? Bull markets, bear markets, volatility, simplicity. The simple thing. If this is an investment, you're going for just a very, very simple, like index fund or something. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be this whole complex thing. You're thinking about it way too complex. Simplicity is going to be the best for you. Especially if we want it, if we just kind of want to, like, we don't want to have to be so deeply involved with it that it's like, that is I think that you like numbers, you like formulas and spreadsheets, and you want to do all the research, and you want to see how do I shave a percentage here, how do I gain a percentage over here, how do I make this a little bit more optimized, and you like tinkering. You really like tinkering, but sometimes it just comes down to like, just love it, just love the thing. Just do the simple, just keep feeding it, and it's just love it and feed it and play with it, and it's going to be the best dog you've ever had, because there is something in your life that is bringing wonderful abundance to you. Something in your life is now ready to grow, and it may be a relationship that just kind of, it just happened, or it's the project, right? Or it's something that you've signed up for, or, any of these other things. It is ready to grow. Okay? It's ready to grow. And if you feed it, and if you nurture it, it's going to expand. You got to tend to this garden now. There's some seeds unexpectedly planted. But now you're like, what do I do? I don't know anything about gardening. Just love it. Water it, feed it, and just let it do its thing. You don't really have to do anything. You're just creating an environment where it can grow. You don't raise a garden. You don't raise kids. You don't heal people. You just create an environment where they can do that. It doesn't mean our daughter's raising herself. I can only imagine. But it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be complex. Okay. Trust your instinct a little bit here. This is a detour. You got to trust that this detour is actually your path. So please let me know your experience with coyotes and how you are relating to that spirit animal for you right now, that coyote, where it just feels like the coyote's kind of the trickster. The coyote kind of like, draws you into, lures you down an alleyway that our rational mind might be kind of thinking twice about, but it turns out that's actually where our path is. It's not really a detour, is it? Feels like one, but it's actually the path. Underneath the surface, you have this very curious and very adventurous Princess of Wands. This is a card that really just wants to go out and try a bunch of new things, and will bring home a new animal every week, if it could, if we let it. Because this is that passion, this is the joy and the allure of discovery. Yeah. So I feel like this is a playful or an exciting thing that arrived, and it lit up your sense of adventure. You followed your curiosity here, and now the mind, that Eight of Swords, is saying, we don't have a plan. We don't even know what this is. I don't even know how to do it. I've never done it before. I've never had this before. Should probably just see where it goes, Because I think there's something, this is like the kids are just like, oh, can we keep it? Can we keep it? Can we keep it? And you're thinking, I don't know anything about, raising a hippopotamus, but okay. I guess. Sure, you can live in the backyard. It doesn't have to necessarily stress you out that it could be a long-term commitment, right? Because the princesses aren't even thinking long-term. And that's kind of the problem. That's why we don't want to let the princesses drive the car. Because they'll bring home a bunch of stray animals, but it's like you're just thinking about how fun it is right now, but you're not thinking about like, we've got to feed it, pay for it, we got to take care of it. It's going to be a long commitment, you know? And that's why that Eight of Swords is like kind of reeling, because it understands that, hey, this is a long commitment. This isn't something that just, it feels good today and then tomorrow it's just going to be gone again. And so I think that's kind of where that's where your mind is really seeing the issue here. And the issue is, if you want this to really work out, you're going to have to stick with it for the long haul. Okay. But this is just that whimsical, it just feels good now. I enjoy discovering something, but then it's kind of like the kids bring home a stray dog, but then it's the parents that have to take care of it. Okay? That's kind of the deal here. That's what we're feeling. But this is the Princess of Cups from the background here. And really, I think this was something that, like, you didn't even think about it. Your heart said, I want it, and you went after it. And you accepted it. You took it. You let it into your life, so to speak. Okay? This is a fish in a percolator. This is something that just seemed like it might have felt good, and so you went after it that way. It was a sign. It was a message. It was some kind of a synchronicity. It was a dream. It was a song. It was, it was a breadcrumb on the sidewalk, and you just said, oh, what's that? And you let yourself follow that. And that's a very spiritual thing. That's a very pure thing, you know? And very often, we don't get that kind of magic. This was something magical in your life. This was some extra in the ordinary. This was some magic in the mundane world. And you should be very, very happy and very proud of yourself that you even noticed this, you know? Because a lot of us are so wrapped up in our minds all the time that we don't see the symbols or the synchronicities. We don't see the fish in the percolator, or we do, but we're so busy living our, adult lives that we don't ever question, why is there a fish in the percolator? What does it mean, So I think you're very lucky that you're sensitive to the synchronicities and the magic of life. And of course, now your mind's kicking in and thinking, what do I do with this? And maybe it's just like, be quiet, mind. Let's just Wile E. Coyote this thing, and let's not think about it too much. Let's just follow more of those signs. Let's continue to follow this energy, this curiosity, this emotional interest. Okay. And I think that that's the way. I think the mind is really outnumbered here. The logic, the reasonable. This is like, the kids bring home the dog. Mom says, yeah, create a dog. Let's take care of the dog. And then dad is here thinking, no, it's going to scratch up the floor. It's going to, it's going to make a mess on the carpet, and the money, think about the money. And everyone's just like, you know what? Shut up, Dad. We're going to do it. It's going to be fine. At least that's kind of how it was in my house. But anyway, the Two of Cups up at the top here, this is just love. This is pure and simple. This is just something that really means something to you. And I feel like this is like turning off the mind, just letting the heart know how to take care of this thing. Yeah. There's real chemistry here. There's a real bond that wants to develop, whether it's romantic or platonic or spiritual. Okay, this is you just being fully present. If you're unsure, if the mind is overactive and you're overanalyzing, what do I do? How do I do it? Everybody's giving you parenting advice or advice on pets or advice on stocks or whatever, right? The simple thing is you just show up for it. You put the phone away and you just be present. I don't know how to raise kids, but I just try to be present with her as much as I can. You know, and the rest will take care of itself. The rest you'll just kind of figure out, like your body will know what to do. Your mind, your heart, your spirit will know what to do. Of course, reading and studying and, you know, getting some knowledge under your hat is going to be a good thing too. But this is just love. This is support. This is being there, being present. Okay? This is letting yourself be connected emotionally with this thing and not trying to ruin it by over-intellectualizing it. We don't want to turn it into a math problem. Okay? Maybe this is a math problem, though. Maybe this is your investments. Maybe this is all about finances for you. It could be. Okay? And if that's the case, then this is like just trusting in your heart, trusting in the simplicity of it. You don't have to try to make it all complex. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. Okay? But it seems like the aversion to investing is that it's so complicated. So complicated you have to hire somebody else to do it for you. Or maybe that's your hierophant. It's so complicated you got to hire somebody else to do it for you, whether it's financial investment, stocks and bonds, or if it's anything else, right? Fixing our computers or whatever. It's like it's so complicated I got to hire somebody else to do it. It doesn't have to be. Investing can be very simple. A low-cost, broad-base index fund, right? Set it, forget it. Now, I'm obviously not a financial advisor, but this is a situation where you might be thinking like, I don't know what I'm doing, I got to hire somebody to do it. Okay? Whether that's literal or that's like the feeling, okay? The idea here is that if you love it, if you care about it, if you really want to do this, simple is better. Okay? Simple is better. And of course, the Eight of Pentacles is growth. Paying attention to its needs. Following your heart. The leaves are looking a little brown. Okay. What does that mean? Does it need more water? Maybe that means it's getting too hot. It's starting to get all droopy. What does that mean? Well, maybe it needs a little more sunlight. Something like this. I don't know. I'm obviously no gardener either. But the thing is, you're not either. But you're becoming one. Because you're loving this thing and you're taking care of it. You're paying attention to its needs. You're giving it the water that it needs when it seems thirsty. You know, when the baby's crying, baby's hungry. Or wet. Or tired. Or just wants a cuddle. You know? The simple things, I think, are going to allow this to really grow in the best way for you. But I do see that with that Eight of Swords, you like running the numbers. You like a spreadsheet. You like sort of complicated things. You like a formula. You like a math problem. You want, if you're going to invest in stocks, you're saying, well, okay, well, how can I, or finances generally, right? How can I make an extra 1% of interest over here? How can I make an extra $100 over here? And how can I tweak things and tinker with things? And pretty soon you have this very complex machine that's very easily broken. When there are so many different things that are all interconnected, if any one of them goes wrong, the whole thing cascades and collapses. But through the simplicity, it's just like, hey, it's working in that way, and that seems to be the smooth route. Okay? It's more reliable. It's more consistent. Okay? It's more kind of set it and forget it. And I think the way forward for you is that kind of simplicity. It's careful effort. It's patient. You're not overthinking it. No cutting corners, no shortcuts. It's just like you do it by doing it. I don't need to hire somebody else to do it. I just need to slow down my mind and look at it and trust in that intuition and trust in myself and make wise choices. Make small, careful choices. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Making those small choices that are going to set up your future, whether this is like savings or investing or kind of like, it's almost like a less is more kind of vibe for whatever this is, yeah? The Four of Wands here is a card of completion. It's a card of milestones and the celebration of those milestones. And I think before you know it, this dog is going to take his first steps. This dog is going to, reach all those milestones. And it's just like, I remember when we had our daughter, and I had an app on my phone that was talking about milestones. It was literally like a milestone app for kids. And so we would love it, we'd love to look at the app and say, oh, okay, she took a step. That's a milestone. We check that milestone off, check that box. And then, she said her first word. I'm going to check that off the box, And eventually, after a while of doing that, I just kind of said, I don't need to keep checking in on those milestones, because in a way, it kind of like, I don't know, it almost like takes you out of the moment, I guess, right? But I do think that this is going to be you celebrating these milestones. Not worrying about them, not making them into some kind of a math problem or making them too complicated or overthinking them, but just being there to witness them, being there to enjoy, those milestones. This is also the card to me of the bon voyage and the welcome home. So it's kind of like saying, this is something that you're going to be very, very happy to see every day, And it's something that as we repeat the cycle of something, we're not going to know day to day how things are changing. It's like I wake up every day and I see my daughter and she looks like my daughter, right? But if I look at pictures of a year ago or even 6 months ago, I think, what happened? Like she's changed so much, And so this is that repetition. This is the cycles that we go through. And it's the daily cycles. It's the human time, where time's going to go by a lot faster than you think. So I think that this card is like, let's celebrate these milestones, but let's be present every day. Okay? Let's celebrate every phase of this. There's the newborn phase, the toddler phase, and, now there's the kindergartner phase, And so I think that it's really like, it's appreciating the markers of time and the passage of time. But I think this is also simply coming up with a very structured routine. Whatever this is, repeatability is going to be the thing. It's something that you're going to have to do every day or every week or every month if it's the stock market. Simplicity is better. Yeah. You're going to just have to do it every week, though. Every paycheck, put a couple bucks in. If you're trying to save money, if this is a relationship, whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is. The consistency, the repetition, the being willing to do it again tomorrow. Regardless of what's happening and the volatility and if any, just going to do it again. Okay. And the Hierophant in the environment, this is my least favorite position for the Hierophant, because it's implying that the expertise or the wisdom or the knowledge or the advice or the sacred master, right, is somebody external to you. In other words, you don't know what you're doing, you better hire somebody. And sure, maybe, yeah, if that's the route you want to go, hire somebody. But I think what this card is really showing is that your feeling here is that you can do it. And you can learn as you go. Maybe this is a new job. Maybe this is a new career. Maybe this is a new art form. Well, your repetition is going to help you refine your skills, first of all. But you are perfectly capable of becoming the wise one, the one who knows, the person of knowledge. You're more than capable of becoming this person. Now, maybe you don't want to. Maybe you're saying, I don't have time to be an expert at stock market stuff, so I'm going to hire somebody. Well, what if it doesn't have to be as complicated as you think? What if you don't have to be an expert? You don't have to go to school for 100 years to know what it's all about. Okay? What if you just follow your sort of love, follow what you like and what you enjoy, and learn about that, and that gives you sufficient expertise to do this yourself, to figure it out on your own. I think that you will be reaching a level of proficiency. Now, mastery is a different story, right? It depends on your definition of mastery and depends on what this actually is. Maybe this is something that nobody is an expert. There are no experts at raising kids. I mean, there are a lot of people that write books and they claim to be an expert, the leading expert on raising children. But the idea is that your situation is absolutely unique. So there is stuff you can learn from other people. There will be a lot of teachers on your path. But those teachers are not there to do it for you. They're there to build up your experience and your knowledge. They're showing you how to fish. They're not just going to give you the fish. You want someone to come and fix your computer, and you're going to be right there saying, show me what you just did. Show me how you did that. I want to learn. Okay? And the three of Cups is really just the celebration, the joy. And that's the most important thing, is just to know that you have the capacity for enjoying this, and the capacity to provide for this thing what it needs in order for it to thrive. That the only thing you have, and I don't care what it is, you're going to be a parent. You say, I don't have any money. I don't have any time. I don't have any experience. It doesn't matter. You got love. Love is your number one commodity. Love is the number one resource that you have, that anybody can give. And it's the resource that doesn't run out. I think that you've got a real reason to celebrate right now in your life. And this is you spending time with this thing and showing it the love that it needs. Okay? You're saying yes to it, celebrating it. Feels like it's a miracle. Feels like it really is going to be a wish coming true, a dream coming true for you. This is gratitude. This is thankfulness. This is love. The more you use it, the more you have. The more you give, the more you receive. But it's kind of like love and gratitude and appreciation and thankfulness. That's an energy that never really does run out. Because the more you use it, the more it's there. It's very Taoist, right? I think that this is you allowing yourself to just feel this and to trust in this and to be thankful for this opportunity. And the 9 is progress. It's gain. That this is something that is improving your life in every dimension. Physically, financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, creatively. This is going to be good. This is a very successful road that you're traveling. Whether this is an investment in a person, a relationship, a business, a new art form, a side hustle, a new career, a new job, or a pet, or a plant, or a person, it's going to be very successful. This is massive harvest. This is you feeling like you've accomplished something. Like you've steered this thing toward success. This is the real harvest. This is when the garden is just overflowing with abundant fruits and vegetables. And you're saying, oh, I did that. We did that. I didn't have to hire somebody to do it for me, but a lot of people taught me things as I went along. And I've learned, as much as I could from other people and observing other people and asking questions. But the number one thing that made this thing grow, just love. Just love. Let's look at the mystery card. Wheel of Fortune, another Empress, an emperor, maybe a, I don't know, maybe a 9 or a 10 of cups. Let's see. The King of Wands. That's all. That's it too. The love and consistency, showing up every day. Again, it's kind of the repeatability, right? It's your ability to show up every day and be present, even when it's difficult, even when it's challenging, even when there is volatility. You're showing up every day. You're driven. Okay, you're driven. You're showing up. You're responding to this. And it's a fixed fire energy. So it's kind of like the motivation, how we keep ourselves committed to something even during periods of volatility. Especially right now when your mind is kind of like, your mind's interfering with the process, and it's like you're starting to overthink, starting to spiral a little bit, starting to make it too complex, we're overanalyzing. We just got to show up and be consistent. That's it. That's what the stock market needs. That's what the dog needs. That's what your kids need. That's what your friends need. Just need you to show up. Right? Showing up is like 99% of it. Yeah. I think showing up in the right way, though. You know, showing up with passion, showing up with intention and intensity, showing up and really like having that energy like, I want to be here. If it's your job, you're showing up but you're all aloof and you're all detached and stuff and you're all distracted, that's maybe not going to work. But if you're showing up and you're saying, I want to be here, I have a passion for being here, that's the right kind of showing up. Yeah. Anyway, if this reading resonated, there's an extended reading where I go deeper into the message. You can click on the link in the video description. Take what feels true and leave the rest.